We start here. The transfer window is open with plenty of clubs getting straight down to business. As you can see, our reporter Mark McAdam is here. He's got his finger on the pulse with everything going on. Mark, good to see you. First of all, how big do we expect this summer to be?
The window's open. Finally, teams can do transfer business, and this is going to take over our lives for the next 2.5 months. The World Cup and the transfer window. Does it get any better than this? Well, we've already seen a number of deals happen, but could this summer perhaps be one of the biggest we've ever seen? That's off the back of 2025 being a record-breaking summer for transfers. Look at the total spend. £3.19 billion spent by Premier League sides last summer. Also have to remember there were some sales in there. That's not complete spend. They are trading within European markets as well. They obviously sold £1.85 billion worth of players as well. So there was a lot of money spent, a lot of money recuperated. But someone within the game tells me that this summer will be even bigger. They anticipate this summer to be a bigger window, so we might see that 3.19 billion eclipsed. One of the key reasons as to why this summer may be busier, because of the manager merry-go-round. We've seen a lot of head coaches and managers move from clubs, and when you get a new manager, they want new players. They want players they know and they trust. For example, Andoni at Liverpool, he's going to want to see players in his mould and philosophy. Michael Carrick at Manchester United, Enzo Maresca, should Manchester City get that deal done. We've also got Xabi Alonso at Chelsea. So some of the biggest hitters in the Premier League have all got new head coaches. So that's one of the reasons why we anticipate this summer being a blockbuster. Be fascinating to see how it plays out. Just day one today. The window is open and already we're seeing deals happen.
Yeah, just day one. There's already been a pretty significant deal today. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so Chelsea, Real Madrid, Marc Cucurella. This is a done deal. It's been confirmed by both the two football clubs this morning. We got the confirmation on Sky Sports News just after 10 o'clock. And this deal's worth £51.8 million. That's made up of £47.5 million in guaranteed payments with £4.3 million in add-ons. So the 27-year-old will sign a long-term contract at the Bernabeu that will keep him there until June 2032. Quite interesting, really, because this is the start of a brand new era at Real Madrid. Jose Mourinho coming into the club for the second time. And, of course, already they've been busy and active in the window. Ibrahima Konate, free transfer from Liverpool, Denzel Dumfries, and we know that Bernardo Silva is also a player they're very much keen on. So this is another piece of the new Jose Mourinho jigsaw. Interesting when you look at Marc Cucurella, brilliant season at Brighton that earned him that big £62.5 million move to Chelsea, Club World Cup and the Conference League in 4 years. Would he be seen as a success? Certainly an iconic player in many respects there, but whether or not he'll be held in high regard by those Chelsea fans, we'll have to wait and see. And I guess the biggest success for him actually came whilst he was at Chelsea, wasn't for Chelsea, was winning the Euros in 2024 with Spain. But yeah, he's not going to be a Premier League player. Confirmed, Real Madrid contract until 2032.
OK, Mark, what else is going on? Elliot Anderson, what's the latest on his future?
Yeah, this is fascinating, isn't it? A player that Newcastle reluctantly had to let go because of PSR issues, and he's become a superstar. Newcastle and Eddie Howe will always say, we knew he was top class. No question about that, and now you're starting to see him fulfil that. They are carrying on their talks between Nottingham Forest and Manchester City over a potential deal. Our information is that Man City weren't commenting on reports that a verbal proposal was on the table of 106 million plus 14 million in add-ons, a total package of 120 million for Elliot Anderson. Of course, he's with Thomas Tuchel in England at the moment, very much focused on the World Cup. However, we understand if there were to be an agreement in place between the two football clubs, it's going to be a British record, which at the moment stands with Alexander Isak going from Newcastle to Liverpool for 125 million. This would have to be bigger than that. Be interesting to see what will happen here. You get the feeling that he is headed to Manchester City, but it will only be on Marinakis' terms. He's a tough negotiator and will only sell at a price he feels is acceptable. You get the feeling that Manchester City might have to go back once again with a slightly bigger offer. You also get the feeling it might happen after the World Cup. The one good thing for Manchester City, there are very few sides in the footballing world that can compete with the type of money that is being discussed for this particular player. So, yeah, one to keep an eye on. Talks continue.
Yeah, another one to keep an eye on today. We said it could be a significant day for Marcus Rashford because his Barca option expires today. What is going on there?
Yeah, so obviously loan from Manchester United to Barcelona. I think it was a reasonably successful loan. Players liked him. Hansi Flick liked him. Fans liked him. 15 goals and assists in La Liga. They obviously went on to win the title. However, the reason why today is significant is because in that loan deal from United to Barcelona, Barcelona had the option to make it a permanent move for 30 million euros, around 26 million pounds. That would be bought by today. They need to do it before today. Otherwise, that agreement expires and then they will have to renegotiate. Now, Barcelona may say, well, actually, we can renegotiate and get a better deal and a cheaper deal. However, there is also the potential for another loan being discussed. And of course, Manchester United will say, well, actually, you've had a really strong season at Barcelona. We think we could get more money for you, and therefore we might sell you to someone else. So it'll be fascinating to see how this one plays out again. However, at the moment, the two clubs in talks, but it looks unlikely that Barcelona are going to activate that option to purchase Marcus Rashford. So it'll be interesting to see. Rashford has said he loves Barcelona, wants to stay at Barcelona, wants to stay and continue his career there. But of course, it's all about one thing and one thing only, and we know what that is in the transfer window: money.
Two other clubs that are talking to each other, Spurs and Brighton. We're in a situation where we're potentially seeing them trading centre halves. What's the situation?
Yeah, this is another really intriguing situation because you've got Van Hecker here, the Brighton player, 1 year left on his current deal, has already seen 2 bids rejected by Brighton from Spurs for the player. He's again out in the World Cup at the moment. Really good defender. Really like him. I was at Brighton at the end of the season in that game. They played Manchester United final day. Once again, I think there's something about him. He's a really good player. Of course, he's got that Roberto De Zerbi connection from when he was the Brighton Hove Albion boss. So you've got a head coach that knows the defender, knows what he's all about. He cost just £1.8 million. Once again, another example of the exceptional business that Brighton do. But like we say, because he's going into that final year of his contract, it makes it a little bit tricky. However, 2 bids rejected. But why there's a link here, because Luka Vuskovic is a player that Brighton want. However, he's never played for Spurs. On loan at Hamburg last year, we understand there was a £30 million offer rejected by Spurs. And obviously you've got two sides playing at the transfer table with each other. They both have to try and find a deal. They both want to maximise what they possibly can. You get the feeling at some stage these deals will happen, but it's a case of just making sure everyone is happy. So, yeah, one to keep an eye on again. But, of course, 2 players, both at the World Cup again. And I think we'll be saying that a lot over the course of the next few weeks, Joe. Bit of a tricky one because players are supposed to be focusing on the World Cup, whereas their club activity and transfer dealings is all being discussed at the moment back home. So, yeah, keep an eye on this one. But the good news is the window is back open.
Yeah, day one. Mark, you're going to be busy. Thank you very much for now.